Hey Tankers, welcome to another episode of Beginner's Guide. This time, Coach Mike and I have put together a different kind of a subject for you. The best tech tree tournament heavy tanks. We started talking about this probably a few times, but within the last few weeks, we've talked about this multiple times about what are the best tanks to bring to a tournament that are from a tech tree. The reason we thought of this is because we have players that play with us that maybe they can't afford to spend the money to buy gold to buy a premium tank. So we've come up with our top 7 choices. Number 7 we've come up with is the IS-3. So the IS-3 is an old dog in the game, and it's kind of a knife fighter. It's always been described as a knife fighter. It's a brawler. It's a heavy brawler. You want to get this tank into a game where he can get into a fight and just be in there and dominate. You want to keep it on somewhat flat surfaces, like here in Dynasty Pearl. Even though I'm elevated up on a stairway, I've got enough gun elevation to hit the people that are around me. And that's the kind of position you want to be putting this kind of tank in. So if you're going to be in a tournament in something like Himmelsdorf or Dynasty Pearl or places on Yamato Harbor, as long as you're not going to go out in the fields and stuff like that where there's a flat surface, this is a tech tree tank that you can get away with using. It's not the best, it's not our first choice, but it is a good tech tree tank. It's an old dog. It's been power creeped, but it still has a great gun. It has the BL9 on it. It does great damage. It hits for mid 400s and has really good pen. Accuracy is a bit tough, but like I said, it's a knife fighter. You want to be in close with this tank, fighting and just doing a job that way. Another big benefit of the tank is its ability to move quickly. And you see that turn is pretty quick for a heavy. It's not great, but it's pretty quick. I'm able to turn around and put shots on different tanks and different opponents as they come at me. Here I'm going to put a shot into the waffle, and I'm going to pull up, and I've already been hit hard, and I'm going to die. Well, coming in at number 6 is the IS-5. So, yes, I know the IS-5 is actually a premium tank, but the IS-5 you can only get from your clan store, and it is also the cheapest best buy at tier 8 for a premium tank. For 1,500 gold, you can actually purchase this tank. It's basically the IS-3 all over again, just with better armor. It's a little bit slower, but guys, if you watch those videos, you can watch 5 videos a day for 10 gold a piece right off your main screen. That's 50 gold a day. That's, 350 gold a week. Literally within weeks, you can save up gold by watching videos to buy this tank from your clan store. It's the best buy in Blitz. Like I said, it plays almost exactly like the IS-3. It's going to be playing in all the same situations. It's got the same gun. It's got a little bit stronger armor. It is a little bit slower, and it has a bad reputation of being a trash tank, but I'm going to tell you what, it's really not. If you play this right, and you play it where, again, you want to be a knife fighter, get in somebody's face, you want to wiggle that front end, and hide your bottom plate, you can be really successful in this tank. You really can. It's a good tank. It's a tank that I don't pull out that often, but when I do, I have a lot of fun playing it. Look at this. I mean, they complain about the gun, but I put a nice shot into that Lycan right there, no problem. And here I've got 4 people in front of me, and I'm going to start holding this position. These are the kind of situations you want to put the IS-5 in. It doesn't have great gun depression. I think it's only like 5 degrees, but you want to put it in positions where it can control the job around it, and you can get into somebody's face and keep that armor working for you. You want to face your enemy directly, use that pike nose to your advantage, and when you get a reload, do like this, put a shot in, like I killed that Vulcan, and you just continue. This tank is, this tank and the IS-3 are very comparable to like the Object 252 or like the WZ-111 Glacial. But anyways, moving on, number 5 is the KV-4. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, man, what is with these Russian tanks? But you know what? They are still solid tanks. Yes, they've been power creeped. They're not the best tanks in the game. But if you were looking for a super heavy, and yes, I said super heavy, the KV-4 can be one of your choices. This is a tank that is very comparable to the VK100P. It has a gun on it that it may not do as much alpha, but it has all the same armor on it but it has better armor on it even than the VK100P. This tank from the side, it's not an auto pen. If you're on the side of a VK, it's pretty much an auto pen. You can shoot right through the side of a VK100P. This tank can side scrape like a monster. It literally, I don't think, and people will argue with me and have a different opinion, but there is not a better tank at tier 8 that is a super heavy for side scraping. There's just not. I don't know that there's a better tank at tier 8 at all for side scraping. This one is it's a side scraping god. It's what side scraping is built for. This tank is armor wise is just a powerhouse, and the gun just sings. It's got that pretty much typical Russian accuracy, but it's got a lot quicker reload. The reload is 10 seconds as opposed to like the IS-3 is like 13 and 14 seconds. And look at that, on the move. I didn't even slow down. I kept driving and I shot that E-75 without stopping. Look at this. I'm already reloaded. Going to turn around. I'm going to kill that French tank. I'm going to chase this the T92E1, but Coach Mike kills him. And I'm going to turn around and put a shot into the E-75. I'm going to wait for a reload, and I'm going to finish him off. This tank is a powerhouse. If you're looking for a powerhouse, something to work in a city and hold the line, the KV-4 could be your choice. Okay, so coming in at number 4, the T-32. Now, I know you guys are going to have what? The T-32? Come on. But truthfully, when Mike and I were talking about these tanks, I was surprised. I was like, no, the T-32 can't be in this list. And he said, no, it's got an armor buff. It's actually a really good tank. Think about it. You see him a lot more in game these days. And I had to admit he was right. So what happened? Coach Mike and I both went out and bought the T-32 back. His first game back, he aced the tank. And this right here is actually my first game back, and I'm going to do, 2,800 damage or something like that. So I still have a really good game, and it's a second class at the end. But as you can see, if you're looking for a hull-down tank in the tech tree, there's not a lot that's better than the T-32. The T-32 at tier 8 it's built for hull-down. It's an American tank. It's built for hull-down. You want to be protecting that hull anyways, and that's why you play this hull down, and your turret is super solid, and with the armor buff they had it, you just want to keep your gun facing your enemy playing hull down, and you're going to be really successful with this tank. It has a ton of armor on that turret, making it a really strong contender hull down. The gun is, it's got that American accuracy thing going, but the reload is better. And whereas like the ammo on this list, was going to be on the list, and it's going to be, it's technically a better hull down tank because it has the same 10 degrees of gun depression, but it has a stronger turret, actually. But it doesn't have the DPM that this does. The MO1 is a burst damage tank, and then it has a long reload. And so overall its reload is going to suffer, whereas a T-32 It's got a really good gun. It's the same gun that's on the Shark, and it's gonna fire and keep firing and keep firing and keep firing and pen just about anything you can put it into. Right here, look at this. Shot on this guy, boom, hit him, kill him, back up, and I'm gonna give this IS-6 some space. He's gonna try and come around and get me, but my whole team's coming up on this guy, and we're gonna make short work of him. And there, another kill. That's your number 3 tank, guys. One of the best hull down tanks there is in the game. The number 4, sorry. Number 3 is the VK100P. Now the VK100P is easily one of the strongest side scrapers in the game, pound for pound. Like I said, this tank and the KV4. I would give the strength and side scraping better to the KV4. They're both super heavies. They're both slow. The advantage with this tank is the gun. It's got a really high damage alpha gun. It does have a longer reload, and it's just as slow, but it is a textbook super heavy, and this can be a real successful tank in game. In our tournament, when we play tournaments, we have a couple of brothers that play with us, Yosef and Ahmed, and they didn't have any tier 8 tanks, and they asked, well, what should we get? We said, we're going to get the Tiger tank or the VK100P. They both ended up buying a VK100P, and let me tell you, our tier 8, when we play tier 8 tournaments and we put those guys up front, they hold the line. They really do. They do a great job with putting out damage and bouncing shots and just holding positions. And that's what this VK is really good at. Again, and one of the advantages it also has is it has a little bit of gun depression. It'll actually surprise you. It gets a little more gun depression than you would think. You add that with a big, powerful alpha gun, and you can put this thing in some really good situations that will help out in a tournament. You can see I'm taking shots here. I'm not bouncing a whole lot, but I don't have anywhere to move. And, out in the open like this, you probably don't want to be putting your VK out in the open. You want to be using it inside cities. Okay, so number 2, the Tiger 2. This is one of my personal favorites. I love the Tiger tanks. I love these German original heavies, the King Tiger. This tank, certainly since the buff it got about a year and a half ago, this tank is just absolutely deadly. It is, on our list, it absolutely is what we're going to call the best multi-role tank. This tank can side scrape like just as good as anybody else in the game, and it can even play some hold down positions. And the gun on it has a great reload, has great penetration. It's German technology at its best in World War II. That 88 that it has, it's like a laser beam. Somebody pulls in front of you, you hit them, they're going to take 325 or better. And that's what you want out of a gun. You want something that's reliable, and this is completely reliable. Look at that. I barely even aimed at that guy. I just looked at him, pushed the trigger, and he's dead. Mobility wise, it can get where you need it to. It's not as slow as like a VK100P or a KV4. It's a really, really good choice of a tournament tank, and you will see these in tournament. Even when everybody else is running premiums, you'll see a lot of Tiger 2s because they are a good choice in any situation. And look at that. I pull around, I get my third kill, here's my third kill, sorry. But anyways, I pull around, and it's just a matter of, I've got I come around a corner, I have 3 tanks in front of me. I kill one, I kill 2, the other one's dead, and I'm moving forward, and I've got enough DPM to keep track and keep up with them. Again, guys, your number 2 tank, the Tiger 2. Coming to number 1. Okay, guys, I don't think there's any surprise here if you've played these Tech Tier tanks. The number 1 tank for the Tech Tree tournament selection is the MO1, in my opinion. This tank has a solid turret. It's small. It's relatively quick for its size. It's not like a Heavium, but it could be quicker. But You have the speed boost technology you can put on this. One of the consumables, and it's got a 3-round clip in it that you can put, like, literally you can put about 900 to 1,000 points out in about 5.5, 6 seconds. Now here it is. I've hit my speed boost. I asked the object that was with me to come out and help me take on this IS-5, and we're gonna just gang up on this guy and just whoop him. The IS-5, his 13-second reload is not going to compete with an EML with 3 shots and an object supporting me. There was just nothing this guy could do. Of course, the downside to an EML is you have a long reload, and your sides are weak. You don't want to be giving anybody your sides. You want to be facing your targets. Again, playing it hull down with that 10 degrees. But look at how just smoothly, this guy's dead. I'm moving on, looking for more targets. I've got a full clip, come around the corner. Look at that, stir ML, boom, he's dead. Pull up ML1, put a shot to him, boom. He's gonna get out of shot, I'm reloading again. And it's just, again, it's looking for targets. Here goes a Liberty. I don't have a shell in the clip, so unfortunately I can't take a shot at him right now. But I'm going to go ahead and move forward. So when you're in a tournament and you're looking for a tank that is very reliable, you'll definitely should consider the ML1. You'll see a lot of them in game. A specifically good tactic is to run a couple of these together. Then you have 6 shots you can put in. But there's not a heavy tank in the game that can take 6 shots at a time. There's just not. Again, guys, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. Until next time, good hunting.